Hello, and welcome to another episode
The Lumeplotters.
of the Lumeplotters.
I thought I was saying Lumeplotters.
Yeah, I just have to mix it up. So, Mr. Martin, I have more
Technically,
books.
it's doctor.
I have more books. I have more books than I can ever read. I have the new book about Rolex from James Dowling. You know, the James Dowling,
Yes.
we met him a couple
met
of...
him. We like him.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
Interesting. It would be more
some time ago, and he has written a book about Rolex, so that was really cool. Then I have another Rolex book, the Rolex Legacy, that I got for my birthday, and I got a nice book as a birthday present from Mahmoud, which is the iconic watches. Also a nice big coffee table book for iconic watches.
I think I have that one.
Yeah. So I have plenty of things to read.
Reading material.
And that is super cool. I haven't read watch books in a long time. So, and then I have seen this watch and all of these things. But what are you wearing today before we get into the meat and potatoes?
Apparently what I'm wearing looks exactly like the Timex
James
brand titanium whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this watch before. It is your Pelagos 39.
No, that's a lie. I've never had a Pelagos in my life.
No. Or no.
I don't like Tudor.
Know.
Tudor is for poor.
It's for people who can't afford Rolexes, right?
Yeah, no, it's a lovely watch. I miss it. I think it's a beautiful watch. I mean, every time I miss this watch, I have to remind myself that I could also wear the Submariner now. So that's keeping
that's
me
kind of the point.
afloat then. I'm wearing, and this is different. So I'm wearing here. I don't know. Should I not share so that you can see it better? I don't know. This is the SBGJ 211.
Mm-hmm.
But on a dark red strap that is like it has like these, like an imprint that looks like squares. It's really cool. It looks like it's stitched sideways like these Bentley seats, but it's not. And of course, it matches my polo shirt. So there you
Wow.
go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so in tune with fashion.
This is the watch that you were contemplating on selling to get the JLC
yes,
sector dial.
And now I have to rebond with this watch. I have to tell the watch, I'm sorry that I even considered selling you, because somebody else bought the watch while I was still thinking about it. And
in our group, somebody bought it and said, "Oh, look at my new watch," and we're like, "Oh man,
it was mine. It had my name on it."
You were planning on it. You were definitely planning.
I was planning on getting it. I was really set on actually buying it. But I have to wait for the next one.
He paid $16,000. He paid full price, zero negotiation, from what I understood.
Sorry, no. I think there is if you well, maybe sometimes
he told me $16,000 was such a good price. Is exactly what he told me.
Yeah, it is. It is a good price.
Which that's what was advertised, but even for $16,000, it's a really, really good deal.
It is a good price.
Being that the cheapest JLC in the catalog right now is what, $40,000?
Yeah, and this watch, I mean, look, it's the older movement, so the 899 movement, which is a wonderful movement with a solid gold rotor. The newer one has higher power reserve. This was 38, but the newer one has 70, and a not full gold rotor, just a bit of gold on it, but a higher power reserve. But
this is what we call cheaping out, right? Lowering, keeping prices going up, but the manufacturer is saving money. I have a very good example of this.
But wait, this watch was full set, so that was good, from 2019, so 6 years old. But the strap was really in bad condition. The strap, so it really needed
800 dirhams buys you a new strap.
I know.
He still has the buckle. That's the most expensive part, so it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have an interesting cost cutting story.
Okay.
In the similar vein as the no longer having solid gold rotors, but of course the prices keep going up. I mentioned in a couple episodes ago that my father bought this brand new Subaru Outback, and the other car that he had before that, or the one that they still kept, was the Volvo C30, the T5, and the Volvo has, the beautiful struts on the hood, right? And I remember, my when I had a Volkswagen GTI, it used to have the hood struts as well. Right? When you open the hood, there's no latch, there's no or stick that you have to prop up. It's just, the struts, gas struts. And then he said, well, where are the struts on the Subaru? And I'm like, well, first and foremost, the Japanese never did the hood struts. That was not a Japanese thing. That was a European thing. But even now, if you go and look at the brand new Mark 7, Mark 8 GTIs, or Mark whatever they're on now, guess what? Mark 6 was the last of the hood struts. Now they all have the dinky little thing that you pull out, and that saves Volkswagen on each car probably the better part of a couple hundred dirhams. You make enough of these.
Oh man.
And it's just cost cutting. It literally is. I had a Mark 5 Volkswagen Jetta, which was of course the Bora in Europe. And those, if you remember the round one, the nice roundy one, that had trunk struts as well. Yeah. Because if you know, every car with a trunk has this gooseneck hinge, which the gooseneck would then protrude into the trunk whenever you close it. So if you had luggage packed all the way to the top, you couldn't close the trunk.
Yeah.
On Volkswagens, essentially they started with the Phaeton, the Bentley, these. They realized, well, we don't need the crazy latch. We just put two struts. And then there's nothing gets in the way of you closing the trunk. And my freaking little Jetta had this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the following generation got rid of it, had the proper gooseneck trunk latches, or not latches, but trunk hinges again. And it just slowly is cost cutting. And we see this a lot.
Sometimes I don't know how there was a time when Volkswagen had really good innovation, right? They had
really good.
Smart and very thoughtful
This was trickle down, right? This was from the Bentleys and then the Audi A8s and these. And then it would just end up into the base Golfs and Jettas.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this is the same thing that we see now with JLC with this rotor thing. As I mentioned, they went from, in the Reversos, from having perlage on the case back to laser engraving. They went from guilloche dials to plain dials, and all of this while increasing the price.
Yeah.
So less work, keep the price roughly the same, if not slightly higher. And we see this in car manufacturing as well. Nothing is as good as it used to be.
I just hope that everything that we discussed with Jérôme Lambert will come true. Again, I can't say the details, but I really hope that his strap on and hold on tight. The next couple of years will be a roller coaster. I mean, in a good way for JLC. We will flurry of new products and really cool stuff. I really hope it's true, because if there's one brand I really want to have a watch from, it's JLC. I just need to do the right one for me.
Yeah, of course. And there's a lot of companies I feel that way about, and a lot of companies that kind of ruin something that could have been fantastic, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. I guess we don't have, I was going to say, Watches and Wonders is coming. No, it's not. It's in March.
Watch Week. Yeah.
Dubai Watch Week is coming, but I'm not expecting anything quote unquote revolutionary or new from the regular brands, right? The Rolex is not going to come out with something, the ones that Tudor is not going to make anything, but
I wouldn't be so sure about it, because first of all, Siddiqui has the 75th anniversary, so a couple of special editions already came out. I have a feeling there will be a couple of these big. There will be some announcements. There might be some new stuff. I think Chopin might have something, and some others. So there could be something. I think now brands are actually holding something back, something small, maybe at least, to
it's
just
small,
release on Dubai Watch Week. So I think
I just don't think it's going to be like the Rolexes or these big box brands that are going to do it. I think it's going to be the Chopards.
Look, wait. this time is different. I know it sounds really weird when you say this time is different. It's like, this is not a bubble. This time is different. Because the CEO of Rolex
Is there
in a panel discussion. I mean, that happens like once in 50 years or something.
Yeah, and this is truly ridiculous because, once again, he doesn't do interviews.
No.
Rolex never goes on the record about anything.
Very rarely. He recently did that on the new NZZ, the Neue Zürcher Zeitung. He did an interview when I think people talked about some things, and he felt the need to just say that Rolex, I don't know what it was about, but he did actually go onto. I think he's talked about the difficulties of the Swiss watch industry, and in the year 2025, in 2024. So he has given some rare interviews, but it's always like, hey, I want to talk about something, and he's contacting a journalist to make this story. It's not that he responds to anything journalists might ask or anything like that in general.
Yeah.
So him being there in person and then also being on a panel discussion for an hour, that's new. That's interesting. So I really look forward to that. It will be live streamed. So yeah, very much looking forward to it.
I was thinking about this. Will it be live streamed? It didn't say it was going to be live streamed.
It will be, because the seating is of course limited, and for that particular event, it's not even available. I think these are all already seats spoken for with VIPs and press
or I
people
think
and
you're
other things.
too liberal in your thinking, and I'm thinking, conservatively speaking, there are no seats. They never opened it up.
Possible
They
too.
will record something, and if the CEO of Rolex approves it, then they will push it out. But he wants to be in control of the questions. He wants to be in control of the narrative, and wants, basically final say.
You think it's a bit like these the new keynotes from Apple, which are all recorded?
This is what I'm. No, it's not going to be like that, but it's going to be as theatrically produced as that. Yes. Yeah. So it's going to be them sitting around discussing, but it's not going to be
It might
a
be
real
edited
live
on
discussion.
Yeah,
100%.
Who knows? Okay.
That's what I'm getting, and then they'll push that out.
Possible. That is very possible as well. But who knows?
Who knows?
We, if we can, we will peek into where it's supposedly coming from.
We're going to go and we're going to stand outside and see what happens. So
yeah, if the Rolex CEO comes out, or at the same time is being spotted having a coffee somewhere, then it's a recording. Okay. Nah, I think we don't know. We are just speculating.
We don't.
Okay, so we have a new watch that I want to talk about quickly that you see on your screen, because I feel that, again, this is a brand that is so terribly underappreciated and undermarketed, right? It could be so much more if that had a bit more guidance and a better leadership, I feel. And it's Breguet. They came out with a watch that is the 7225. It's a new Breguet Classique. It has 10 hertz beat rate. That's 72,000 beats per second or something. I mean, it's just ridiculously fast. It has a plus minus 1 second accuracy, right? So it's really something completely crazy. And there's a YouTube video of how it actually sounds. And that is insane. I listened to this, and I don't think we can easily get this into the recording, but it's like a machine gun, right? It's a normal high beat watch does tick, 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 tick. This one goes really like crazy fast. 72,000 beats per second, and of course very, very precise. It has
but it's a shame it's so ugly.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it's guilloche and it's a lot of stuff going on there.
It's a lot of gold.
I think it is
It's
even a minute
gold.
repeater. I'm not 100% sure, because it has this thing there. I mean, I didn't read too much in detail about it. The point is also it's a subscription mode. It's not a subscription model. It's 10 pieces, but it is something that I think it would be a proper Breguet watch from, because it's mind-bogglingly advanced in everything that they have put in. And as an old school brand like Breguet, still innovating, and that's something that I think nobody really appreciates anymore. that Breguet does really these amazing feats of watch horological engineering as well. But somehow it goes just down in the flurry of other news, and nobody really pays attention to it anymore because it's Breguet and it's boring and nobody cares. I mean, a maximum deviation of plus minus 1 second per day, 72,000 vibrations per hour. That was correct. Yeah. Also it's really absolutely amazing. And it's hand wound. I don't know what's the power reserve. I think 60 hours or something. It's an insane watch. I mean, if you look at the back here, this is with the engravement of signatures from different people and what have you. And
so, what is this trigger? It is not a minute repeater. There's no gong or
what is this
whatever.
Thing
so what is this thing?
What is it? It's a magnetic pivot regulating on there. What is it? What is this thing? Let me see here. What does it have? What is here? It has flat double silicone balance spring, a silicone pallet lever and escape wheel, 60-hour power reserve, balance mounted between magnetic pivots, blah, 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 blah. But why does it have this thing on the side? I don't understand. It has this like...
It's 75,000 Swiss francs.
Well, and deservedly so. It's something groundbreaking. It's full gold, full handmade guilloche, all of this stuff. It is pretty cool. But
it's just not the backside. I would wear it like this.
Yeah,
I would wear it like upside down because the backside is beautiful.
Stunning. It's beautiful.
Why do they make their watches so ugly? Like, why, Breguet?
The front.
Although, as I mentioned, I have really come around to the Type 20s, and the blue one that you sold, that was a good one.
Yep.
How much did you sell it for?
I think the same I bought it for, but
which was
11 or 12, something like that.
That's it.
Yeah, but.
That's it?
That's it. It was a Breguet Type 20, 1999 model. But, that's what you can get. Especially here.
It's a ridiculously good deal.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's the price of a Longines or entry-level Longines. And you think,
it's the price of the Longines Type 20. Or even less, actually. But
it's ridiculous.
It was a 39 millimeter, 39 and a half or whatever it was.
Correct. 39.
Yes, it's cool.
Yeah, of course. And the old Lemania 72 movement inside, right? So, which is, of course, an in-house movement now because Breguet bought Lemania.
Breguet bought Lemania.
So, but yeah. So that was that. I wanted to talk about this because I thought this is really something special and it's a fantastic watch and nobody really pays much attention because it's Breguet.
I also have something to talk about.
Okay.
I will, let me see, open up. I will share my screen.
Okay, wait, let me stop sharing. Yeah.
Here you go. Screen. The new Maison Alce Per Se Phantom limited edition for Hodinkee.
What does it do? What is it?
It is a build-your-own desk clock.
No.
Okay.
How much
for
is it?
$10,000.
$10,000 again.
Seriously, it's build-your-own desk clock. Okay. So let's look through the pictures here.
So listen.
It looks like something from MB&F.
Oh yeah, it does look very, very.
It says there's 25 pieces.
Oh.
As in numbered pieces, 233 components, and 15 tools included.
Mm-hmm.
Custom Super Luminova kit, so you could customize the Lume on your clock thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing by this they mean you get to choose your color of Lume, because if you look at it, there's only 2 places Lume can be applied in the hands.
Yeah.
150-page instruction book yielding a roughly 6 to 10 hour total estimated build time. Like, I, as a Lego fan, would love to do this.
I would love to build this watch,
but
100%.
not for $10,000.
No, you can't.
I would definitely mess something up.
That's a lot. But I would love to build this. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, that would be such a nice.
You get this big old wooden box with all your tools, and I'm assuming they have like some nice, Bergeon tools, and this is what it looks like when it's built. And it's interesting. It's cool. I like it. Oh, you see the customized luminous syringe hands.
Hmm.
So you could choose the color of because here it's turquoise. And if we look at the previous picture, I guess this one's turquoise as well. But I guess they'll give you some C3 lume, some C1 lume, and so forth and so forth. Hand painted. I love this. Hand painted Super Luminova hands.
Because you're painting it yourself.
Who's painting them? You are painting them. You're hand painting them.
It's your hand.
So they say hand assembled. Yeah, because you assembled it. I wonder if it's sold out yet. So so essentially this brand is Maison Alcé. Never heard of it. The model is the Per Se Phantom.
So
And
it is really, really cool. I think the design is also very interesting. There's also a dedicated WhatsApp group for that, so you can really share your experience with the others that are building the same watch. And it's a 14-day power reserve because it's a really big watch, right? I mean,
it's not a watch; it's a clock.
Clock. It's a clock. It would be a lot of fun. I would love to do this.
Yeah. I would love to do this. And yes, as I suspected, it said you will get grade X1, BL, and C1 Super Luminova. So you do have your choice. If we click on this,
do you know
it is sold out.
If you can actually mix the Super Luminova? So that would be really then custom because you have 3 different colors and you can just mix them together. Is that possible? I don't know.
No, I'd save some so that I could paint some other stuff. But it's sold out. Ladies and gentlemen, look how cool this thing looks. Like, honestly, I wanted to hate it so badly because of the price. Here's your Super Lumina painting kit. How cool is that?
It is. I mean, look, I think from what you get, it is a value for money to a certain extent, I would say. It's a shame they're only 25 and there's not a simple kit that you can get for, 1/3 of the price. But yeah.
Even for 1/3, would you be willing to?
No, probably not.
No, you wouldn't. I wouldn't risk
Still too much.
Messing up something for that much money. So it's cool if you have the money for it.
Yeah.
But if you have to think about it, this is the same price as going and buying a JLC. What's it called?
Atmos.
What are they? Atmos clock, and that I think is
No, the Atmos is cheaper. No.
Well, no, I don't know if the price increases have affected the Atmos. They used to be 26,000 dirhams. I don't know where they are now because my watch used to be 26,000 dirhams and now it's 40. So I'm guessing that would have a similar price increase. I can do a quick Google search how much an Atmos clock is. JLC Atmos.
Oh, yeah, I think I think 12,000. Atmos Classic is $12,000.
So I figured it went up. So here in UAE, we have them. Here's one for 79. The cheapest one is 43,900 now. And the cheapest one is not the most attractive one.
$12,000. Yeah, that's basically it's a classic, right?
Yeah, the classic. The Atmos
I mean,
classic.
Look, I'm fascinated by the
What's
Atmos.
your favorite? Which one's your favorite?
From the Atmoses.
Yeah, there's only one correct answer.
Oh, that's the Infinite.
Yeah, that one's pretty up there. I was going to say the Mark Newson.
Oh, wait. I didn't see.
The Mark Newson one.
Oh, yeah. This is also very cool. I agree.
So it's very similar to the Infinite, but it costs double the price.
Yeah, not surprising. But it is cool. I mean, this is really. I just feel
any
like,
of them.
I mean, look, for technically, if I'm honest, since I'm mostly working from the home office, I could just have this watch next to my workstation and look at it so much more than I look at some of my wristwatches, right? The only thing, of course, you can't do is wear it, but then you can, but then you don't want to have it on your desk when you bang it around because, these watches are the Atmoses are a bit, you should leave them very stable, right?
Yeah. It has to be on a desk.
And they're saying like the most stable thing in your house that has no vibrations, that's where it should stand because then it can really do this. Yeah.
So doing some quick maths, if you were to buy the Hodinkee one after taxes, you're looking at $11,000. If you buy the Atmos, you're looking at $11,900. So you're almost exactly at the same place. And one is, once again, powered on atmospheric pressure around you, which is just insane technology.
Yes, it is amazing. I mean, this is just the difference in the, as you said, the temperature in the room that actually then makes something expand and contract, and that little contraction and expansion is basically used to wind it,
to power, to wind
so
it.
1 degree, I think, of temperature change a day is enough to power it for a couple of days, right? So it's just insane.
You have to do is turn off the AC and turn on the AC, and
it happens in any case with us, right? With the AC, it switches on and off and on and off, and so the temperature goes up and down between 1 or 2 degrees. So it's
imagine your wife coming in, you like turn the AC down to 16. She's like, "Why is it 16 degrees in here? What are you doing?" I'm just winding my Atmos clock.
Yeah, I'm winding the clock. That's true. Crazy stuff. Yeah. But I think, of course, the Atmos is by any means the better watch, right? I mean, by any measure for that price.
Yeah, 100%.
But of course, you haven't built it yourself, right? I mean, that is something.
And it's not limited to 25 pieces.
True. And that's building something yourself is also something that's priceless, right? Saying like,
but by that logic, this Maison Alcé must have non-limited versions.
Oh, for sure they do, and we have to check this out. Not now, but we have to check.
I'm doing it now. So they sell watchmaking sets.
Yeah, but we have a listener's audio file that was sent in. Should we quickly get into that? Because I have not listened to it. I have it. I loaded it onto my mixer so we can play it, but I haven't listened to the entire thing. So I don't know what his recommendation or question is.
It's okay. Before we even go there, the cheapest of the Maison Alcé's clocks is 7,000 euros.
Okay, so not that much lower.
Cheaper, but it is not the same clock. It is essentially. Oh wait, it is the same clock. However, it is oriented vertically.
Oh, okay.
Instead of horizontally like the Hodinkee one. So Hodinkee took the clock and turned it on its side.
Well, they're used for the innovation. I mean, they're known for the innovation, right?
Oh wait, no, I think you can choose the orientation because it's showing this
that would be clever.
In both, which is kind of cool too. Vertically. Oh, this is a picture of a
Martin. Why don't you figure that out for the next episode, and then we can now go to this one.
All right.
Because we could do an episode about watches that come in a kit that you can build yourself, because there's a couple of them. There's also wait a second.
Fine.
Now we can talk about in the next episode in detail, but there's also courses. There are watchmakers that actually do these weekend courses, 1 or 2 days, where you can build your own watch during this workshop with a watchmaker helping you do it. Right, so you get all the parts. It's usually then unitas or eta movement or something that's relatively easy to assemble, like these pocket watch movements, the 6, 4, 9, 8, 9, 7, and you can then get your watch and you can choose your dial and you choose your hands and all of the stuff, and then you basically build it and take it home. And that's a good episode for next time if you want to gift somebody something for Christmas. That could be something very, very specific, special for someone.
That.
All right.
So, let's go into this. We have to mention that at the end of, I guess, every Instagram post that I post, as well as on the description of every episode, there is a link to a website called Speakpipe, where you can record a
audio message
that will be sent to Ralph and myself.
Yes.
And essentially, we're able to then download that audio message and play it back and do an episode based on your voice and recommendations.
And questions.
So we have the first one ever. I don't know why nobody uses, because I think it's such cool technology.
It is.
It is. And we got one after, I think, mentioning it and saying why nobody has used this, but we got one.
Yes.
So we have tricked somebody into giving us an idea. So that is what we're going to spend the rest of today talking about is we'll listen to this audio recording and we will talk about it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what this gentleman called Nate is actually asking us, but I am happy to play it now.
I did listen to it beforehand to make sure it was appropriate to play.
Okay, that's good. We don't have to bleep out anything. All right, that's good. All right, I'm playing it now. 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry, it just started again.
Play it again. Play it. He loves our show. Play it again.
It's on a loop. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Nate. Nate Casey, for your message.
Finally, somebody used our link.
And it sounded really nice. Well done. Well done.
Yeah. Radio voice for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I have a question. So, because the Venn diagrams, well, I really like this representation of it, but isn't it also just a bit of what your preferences are?
This is the point. I guarantee your Venn diagram is different than my Venn diagram.
Right, of course. I mean, look,
so that question is, what is your Venn diagram and what is my Venn diagram?
Now, and where do the watches sit, right? Inside the Venn diagram, right?
That's the whole point. So,
so basically, if you let's play it back in my mind, because sometimes I'm a bit more visual, sometimes I'm a bit more numbers. So if you have let's say a table where you put different values to different things that are important for you, right? Onto your watches. And then you see, and then you rate every watch and see how many points it actually gets, right? From a scale from 1 to 10. You have your ideal, what you want, and then you have what the watches actually are. So in
this case, yes, exactly.
I think the visual representation of the Venn diagram is actually nicer, because then it's just like, like the
whole point, I guess. Yeah, what you're saying is, yes, we have 10, let's say out of 10, and then to be in the middle of the Venn diagram, you would have to have an 8 or higher, let's say, in each category, right?
Exactly. And is that even possible?
That's the other question. Is it possible? And do your watches, because, okay, let's say my Venn diagram, things that I, of course, want. Mine are a little bit more binary, obviously. Because I'm, like, does it have a date? Yes or no? If it doesn't have a date, it's an immediate yes for me, right? That's the kind of way I operate. So, for instance, I'm wearing my Tudor Pelagos 39, and we look at it, right? And it's got a bunch of things going for it. So the value, as you said, value is something that I do look at. I'm not going to be spending 500,000 dirhams on a watch, right? Generally, I like to live at $10,000 and below. That is my ideal value. More so lately, I've even been looking at, living in the $5,000 and below category. So looking at value, I don't really care so much as value retention, because I tried to buy things for a good price. So if it's a $5,000 watch, like let's say this Pelagos is, I would like to buy it for about half that. And then, I don't have to worry about losing money on it. So the value retention, I don't really care about, but the value, the original price, I do. right? So that could be one category for me, is how good of a value is it monetarily? The second one, as I mentioned, we could call it, I don't know, features. So that could be the fact that it has no date would be a must. Other features could be something like depth, in a dive watch, things like this, rotating bezel, satisfying clicking bezel, things like this. And the third thing that I would say, I would like to have all my watches have something special, right? And this is kind of like an X factor. Like, it could be anything, but it has to be something that I could talk about for days, so to speak, right? Something that I could talk about. So my favorite thing about the Pelagos is that it's titanium, right? That is, I think, such a cool thing. The gray color titanium that they used is perfect for it. It's light, and that is the X factor in this watch. But in my features list, I wouldn't give it full marks because of the 21 millimeter lugs. And I think that's an absolute stupid thing to do. And you should never have 21 millimeter lugs on anything. So in this case, if we look at value, it would be probably I would put it up there. The retail price, I think, for the Pelagai is a little bit high for what it is compared to a Black Bay. So I would probably put that around an 8, but that's still a pass for me. For the functionality, it has the no date, it has a bunch of things, but then it has this 21 millimeter lug width, which I hate. And the other thing that I hate is that they got rid of the helium escape valve and the 500 meter depth rating. That would bring it back down, I would say, to a 7 for me. So it's slightly outside of the Venn diagram, but the size is perfect, all that stuff. And then the fact that it's titanium would, or has that X factor, which it's not just like every other one of my watches. I would give it a solid 9 for X factor and whatever that comes out to. So it's slightly outside of the middle for me. Yeah. But it's close enough that, as we said, not every watch has to be perfect in every single dimension. And I think this does a very good job of blending a lot of the different things. So that's one example.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm a much more opportunistic, not collector, enthusiast, I would say. So for me, it's a bit tougher. I mean, there's multiple watches that actually fit somewhat in the overall square of my Venn diagrams, right? Just generally. And then, of course, in the middle, I mean, like the perfect watch for me, which has multiple of these, the overlaps, right? Where you really have quite a few of them. That's a different story, I think. And the question is also, do I actually consider something that is too far away from that center, right?
So this is the question: is what are your categories? Because you haven't said your categories.
No,
yet.
I know, because I still have to think about it. What is my categories?
Think about it. In the meantime, and then what's funny is I guarantee you, we'll let you go through this exercise. I'll go through another watch in the meantime, and see where it lies on my Venn diagram. But essentially, I guarantee you, if you took your categories and did a Venn diagram for my watch, it would be outside of yours. Most of the time, except for the Pelagos, which everyone loves.
You still have 2 of my watches in your collection, right? I mean, the G-Shock and the Pelagos, right? Yeah. So obviously there's 2 that...
That's what I'm saying is surprisingly there's a few that would... maybe my watches... For instance, the Explorer. You had the Explorer 36 and you sold it.
Yeah, the two-tone version, yes. I did.
Yes. So let's put that one on my Venn diagram.
But not because I didn't like the watch. It's just too small.
It's too small for you.
It was too small.
Yeah, which is one of your criteria.
If the watch would have been 40, the two-tone at the time, or 39, I would have kept it.
But why didn't you go for stainless steel when the 40 came out?
Because, that was the time when you just couldn't get watches from Rolex.
Just saying.
The ones you could get were the ones that nobody wanted. Or
now you can.
Less people wanted.
So
now I can. And I think the 39 Explorer is, or 40 is still 40. An amazing watch, and I would love to have one day.
Well, you should sell your broken AP. You can get 2 of them, if not more.
Oh no!
What?
Oh no! I don't think I would sell it. I mean, it's not broken, right? As we established a
It
few
just
times
doesn't work very well.
It does work. It just has this the minute counter going.
Are you
one
of these programmers that when you have a bug, you call it a feature?
No, I'm not saying it's great. It's still annoying, but I'm surprised of how. I mean, I haven't even followed up on a repair on if other parts there. Can I hand it in now? I'm not so sure if I'm really bothered by it. You know, I had before my Type 20, which had a minute counter that always went into whatever direction because I guess it wasn't fully 100% solidly attached. So I just maybe it just doesn't really bother me that much. It's not too much of OCD. I still don't like it in general terms that it's not perfect. But on the other hand, do I really want to risk all the issues that other people like Mahmoud had with his watch and sending it multiple times, or having then having to send it in multiple times because they did screw up other things while actually fixing that, right? Like scratching the hands and attaching it wrong and whatever. I'm not so sure if I want that, right? So that's. Yeah.
Well, we are also in the same boat because with my wife's Constellation, remember the misprint on the bottom at the coronet? She doesn't want to send it in.
Yeah.
She says she likes it the way it is. And that is the equivalent of calling a bug a feature because she says it's now unique.
See, there you go.
Because all the other ones aren't going to have the misprint.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
And the fact is, all we wanted was to Rolex say that they wanted to replace the dial, and that made it worthwhile, right? Because whenever Rolex wants something, they don't want to have misprints out in the world, right? They want to fix them so that people don't go around talking about it. So when they wanted it back and then kept calling me to get it back.
Yeah. But I think my Venn diagram is very different and very not necessarily focused on actual features of the watch. I think there's all my features are more soft features. Like, do I like it? Do I want to see it on my wrist? Right? Is it a color scheme I like? Is it comfortable to wear?
But by features, I think you misunderstood me. By features,
for example, no date for me. I don't care. Can I have a date? Can I have
you don't care.
Perpetual calendar. Can
size, fit, thickness, lug to lug, all of these I would consider in features. Like this is maybe features is the wrong word, but specifications of the watch, so to speak.
Yeah, but this is, again, it's not a specification. Specification would be 39 millimeters or something else. This is more soft. I mean, does that still be comfortable on your wrist? You don't know.
Yeah. You don't. Generally, I overlook things like that.
Yeah.
So my Cartier Santos was one of the most uncomfortable watches I've ever owned.
Which is weird because every Santos I tried was very comfortable to wear on my wrist.
Did you try the new one?
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of people buy the medium and then sell it because they said that they could not wear it. It was so uncomfortable. And it was because the fact that you don't have any micro adjust. You have to go in between links. It was either too big or too small, and that was it. There you had nothing else. And for some reason, the drape of that bracelet, the way it draped, it wasn't like a Rolex where you could be between links and it just wouldn't matter. For some reason, my Datejust I had no issues with, and that didn't have micro adjust. And it was either down to my freaking hand,
right,
touching my fingers basically, or it was cutting off circulation, and there was no in between.
That's so weird. Yeah, that's sometimes when you have this, even a half link is too big, right? But one of them, I think, right? One is like for the Bulgari Octo, for example, Octo Finissimo. I always liked this watch. I always thought it's really, really nice, and I wanted to have one. I wanted to love it, and I tried multiple ones: chronograph version, the Octo Roma, the Octo Finissimo, and every time I put it on my wrist, it's like, damn, right? When you feel like, ugh, it's not for me somehow, and then you can't put your finger on directly what it is. Is it uncomfortable, or is it just too broad?
So this is what I was going to say. Okay, let's look at the Octo Finissimo. Okay, because this is a watch that I have contemplated buying a number of times. The gunmetal gray Octo Finissimo, the first one that came out, at the time was the thinnest automatic watch ever made. So putting it in my Venn diagram, I found it, original price was redonkulous, right? I think it was like 70,000 dirhams, right around. I found it for 30 at Timepiece 360, full set, box papers, whatever. So I categorized that as a good value. So the value aspect for me was there. Then the X factor is off the charts. 10 out of 10 on that watch, right? Mm-hmm. The titanium, the thinness, the fact that it's got that micro rotor movement, everything about it is just so friggin' like X factor, right? But when we look at the regular features, specifications, right? As you said, it has something like a 30 millimeter lug width on there.
Yeah, it's very big.
Absolutely ridiculously wide, right? And even though the watch is like 40 mm or whatever they claim it to be, it just wears so weird on your wrist. And that was one of the things that I just couldn't get behind.
It's comfortable or it's not. This is basically this.
It was not about comfort for me. Once again, it was just, for me, was weird. And it was too weird, right? So this one, I would have given it probably a 1 or a 2 in terms of its quote unquote features, specifications, whatever. 10 out of 10 for X Factor. The value aspect was probably a solid 8 as well. So it met both other criteria, but failed miserably in that wearability, specifications, whatever we want to call it, category.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't end up getting it. I looked at it, and even though I loved almost everything, it was just that
it's so annoying when you have these little things that you can't put your finger on, or in this case you couldn't put your finger on. It's just like it's just too big. The strap is too big, right? It's just
the lug
because
was
it's
one
integrated
of the things.
bracelet, and it's just too big. But sometimes you have this when everything looks right, even from the criteria that you might have, right? And the moment you put it on your wrist, you feel it's just not for me.
So the lug width of the Octo Finissimo is 30 millimeters.
Yeah, but it tapers a lot, right? And it's just it's integrated, right? So it's
this is another one of my features that I look for is I want a taper at least to 16, right? I have a lot of watches that taper to 18, and I hated 18 millimeter buckles. Cannot do it. So that's another one. Like I have a laundry list of these things. This is the reason why I can't have a Panerai. I'm not going to have a 26 millimeter, strap on my hand, even if the watch fits. I just can't do it. Even a 22 millimeter, I feel is a bit much.
Yeah, no, I don't. I do feel Panerais were extremely comfortable on my wrist because their straps are very nice. I mean, the original, even if it's aftermarket, for whatever reason, they just, once they're worn in, which it's usually extremely fast with Panerai straps, they just feel like a small little, like a piece of armor that just perfectly encapsulates your wrist. So it's really, really comfortable to wear for me. But I can understand that for some people, it's just a bit too bulky, too big, too tall, too uncomfortable. I guess there's a lot of these little things that I could make a list when I just have the time to really think about it, right? I'm a tiny bit sleep deprived because I had to get up so early this morning, but I have the feeling that I could come up with a Venn diagram of my things, but I'm not so sure if it's rather disappointingly small, my circles, or if they are just a few, like 2 or 3, or if there are too many of them. I don't really know.
But the thing is, you have to, when you have too many, then I'm thinking you're giving each criteria its own Venn diagram, which I think you can lump into 1 or 2. So you mentioned something that is perfect on paper, but then ends up disappointing you down the line, or
On the
when
wrist,
you
yes.
try it on.
No,
Yeah,
it is in the
this
middle
is
of
exactly.
the Venn diagram, but it
But
just doesn't. There's
the
no
thing
comfort.
is, most of the time I know this in advance. However, I will try to talk myself out of it. I will know that there's an issue with one of the watches. When I bought the Longines Avigation, I knew 15 millimeters or whatever it was too thick, but I wanted to like it. And so even though I knew the specifications on that case, let's talk about my Venn diagram. The value, I paid freaking $5,000 for it. Absolute 10 out of 10 on the bargain price. It's a column wheel chronograph. Like, it's insane price. Features. Okay, let's go X Factor first. X Factor for that one would have been great because it's basically a reissue of a 1930s Type 20 watch that Longines didn't even know existed. So they made essentially like a one-to-one reissue of it, which is super cool as well, historically. So that was the X Factor. You could talk about it for days. Then in features, we had the column wheel chronograph. We had all this cool stuff, but then 15.5 or whatever millimeters thickness, that's pretty damn big. So I would have probably said in my mind before I went to buy it, I was like, it's probably close. It's borderline. So it was if 8 was passing, so to speak, I would have probably given it a 7 or a 6. And that was ultimately what, even though I knew it, I wanted to give the watch a go. And I knew immediately it was that it wasn't going to be, but I tried anyway. And then I sold it. So there you go. That's an example where in advance I knew it wasn't going to be right, but I still tried it. And I don't know why. Just because it was a good value. In this case, the value part of it really pushed me.
Right.
Right? It's you'd feel like an idiot just passing this up for $5,000.
Yeah, see, sometimes this good deal can be some of the things that you actually just buy it, right? Because you just get
and then figure it out later.
Deal, and then you see if you fall in love with it or not. Sometimes it's a bit like an arranged marriage, right? So it can turn out extremely well, right? And sometimes it absolutely does not, right? You just take this leap. And the next thing is...
Okay, you know what? I'm going to add an extra circle into the Venn diagram.
I thought that just saying before you add anything else. I also think that when I sometimes... My Venn diagram now might not be my Venn diagram in a few months for this watch. And that's another thing, is sometimes you have... The watch is perfect, it's nice like the Pelagos, and for whatever reason you're selling it still, even though you think there's nothing really wrong with this watch because of circumstances, right? Or because you said, well, I had my time with the watch, I loved it, it's great, but I want to experience other watches. And that has nothing to do with the watch itself. It has nothing to do with that the next one might be better for you or worse. It's just
different.
Yeah, it's just you want to experience something new. And that can be also sometimes with a car, right? You just had your car and you just get bored of it. Not because anything is bad, objectively bad with your car, but you just feel like, I want to have something different. I want to have something new. And then, that happens, right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think this is also something
I constantly live on
Yeah.
Dubizzle and Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
For the search term of manual transmission. And we see what comes up. And one day, I'm telling you, something's going to come up.
Yeah. So that's for me, it's just like, because I like to, you just also make good deals. So if I see something that comes up, which might not really been on in my entire horizon, right? Because I felt it like it's too expensive for me, or it's not just worth it, right? From a value for money perspective. And then it gets into my sphere where I can just say like, well, I could just trade something in, or, I just can just make the jump, and then I do it. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it might turn out to be perfect and the most fantastic thing, or it might be just that you think, okay, that was something I should, have not done. And it's not that you have the biggest regrets, but you feel like, okay, maybe that was a bit too premature. Maybe I should have just thought about it a bit more. But yeah.
So I'm going to add in one more category, and this is going off of what we talked about with Mahmoud whenever way back. Remember the clicking with watches?
Yes.
That we talked about?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that should be another circle. Do you click with the watch?
Yes, of course. That's sometimes the point that's what I mentioned. It's like when you put it on your wrist.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to add that in because there is a difference between the specifications and, as you said, everything should be perfect. But then, do you really?
Yes.
For instance, I'll give you an example. I have the SBGM 221 Grand Seiko with the beige dial. I had the SBGM 239 Hodinkee limited edition, and I did not click with it. It is physically the exact same watch. The only difference is a dial color change. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the blue. I didn't think it looked good. I didn't think it went with the case, blah, blah, blah. And it just, for some reason, and I'm like, I love blue dials, but for some reason that did not work for me. And I much prefer the beige dial, which I had since rebought again. So that's an example where everything is the same, right? Arguably, the X factor of the SBGM 221, for if we're going to rank the SBGM 221, the X factor is fairly low. There's not much craziness going off, except for the fact that the guy who designed the case, whose name I have forgotten, the one who designed the 44 GS case.
Yeah.
Not the grammar of design guy, but there's a guy that came after him.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he designed the 62 GS case and a whole bunch of other cases and a whole bunch of other things. And he said on record a bunch of times that his favorite watch of all time was the SBGM 221, which if the designer of Grand Seiko says that this is the best watch, then I'm going to go with it and say, yeah, it probably is. So that's the only X factor. But the Hodinkee edition, it's limited. It's a cool color, blah, blah, blah. It has a much higher X factor. Everything else, if you look at the price point, if you look at the, the specifications, all stayed the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that changed, X factor went up for Hodinkee, but the clicking with it went down. And therefore, it was sold. It was moved on, right? Yet in the Venn diagram, they would have sat exactly in the same place. So I have now a new idea. These circles are not weighted equally.
Yeah.
That becomes another issue. Now we're talking full on freaking regression, like binary logistic regression here, where we have a binary output with numerous independent variables. And what we're trying to predict is it going to stay in your collection or are you going to sell it? Is this a watch that clicks for you or not?
With binary, you mean like a Boolean, like it's yes or no, true or false.
But in statistical terms, it's called a binary logistic regression. So essentially, you have a bunch of variables with different weights that are your inputs, essentially, right? So think about it like this. Generally, this is done in medical calculations. When you want to figure out, is this guy going to die of cancer, yes or no, right? And then you put in all of the inputs. Is he a smoker? Does he exercise, right? Smoking and exercising may not have the same weight, right? One might be a more accurate predictor than the other one. So in that case, the weights are different. So in the same case, value may have a lower weight than do I click with the watch? So in this case, we have different weights, but all of them will contribute to your end result of, does this watch work for you? So it's not a Venn diagram. It's a binary logistic regression equation.
Well, I think we lost our viewers, listeners with that. It's like we need to have a three-dimensional table that has different size squares and fields, and yes, and of course you have to just look at it in a three-dimensional space. So pack out your Apple VR glasses, right, and then You might dive into the data and see what you like.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's. I still have to think about what is my my Venn diagram. What are my criteria? What is my categories that I actually want, and then look at my watch collection and see, do they even fit? Because then the next thing is, why are they in my watch box and why do I like them? If it's actually not really anything that is describably in that Venn diagram, then I made the Venn diagram wrong, and I might have to put in more soft factors that are not actually that easily measurable, right? This is like, do I just like it, right? And regardless of, does it, for example, if you would tell me, buy a watch with a date window at 12 o'clock, I would probably tell you that you are just absolutely insane, right?
No, I like the Carrera. The Carrera is cool.
For example, the Carrera, but there's also Langes and other watches that have a date window there, or Glashütte Original and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true.
If the right watch comes across and it has a date window on 12, I probably don't even care that it's there on 12 o'clock.
I thought the same way. I owned the Datejust for freaking 5, 6, 7 years, however long I owned it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only date windowed watch that I gave a pass to. And because I thought, like, this is the date windowed watch, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to have one, you have the one. And then, even then, that was too much for me, because you made a comment once and said, why do you have a watch with a date window? And then it wouldn't get out of my mind, so I sold the watch.
And you said, date window is not so bad, but a Cyclops is bad.
Yeah.
But that is Cyclops, so.
Doesn't matter. Point of story, I got rid of the watch because of that comment.
Whoa.
But
I have the power.
Yes. No, this was one of those things that I've been considering for many years, right? But I just never pulled the trigger. And I guess the final straw was Ralph saying, why do I own this watch? And then I'm like, I don't know. I own it because I always have. It's been there for freaking 7 years. Like, what else am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
And then, I got a good amount of money for it. So I was happy to sell it. But I don't miss it at all. The sub, I may miss a little bit in theory, but in practice, I don't think so.
See, when you see, a few things are still working in my brain. So, for example, when you said you had a watch that actually, the quartet, that never was comfortable. It was either too tight or too loose, and you couldn't wear it comfortably, right?
Didn't bother me though.
Yeah, but if for example, I really like the Alpine Eagle from Chopard. I think it's a great watch. I looked at it multiple times, in multiple eras, new, pre-owned, and so on. I was just a few days ago, I met a friend from Germany, and Alex, and he had brought his Alpine Eagle Qatar edition, the green dial, Eastern Arabic numerals with also the Eastern Arabic date window. So it was really a beautiful watch with this beautiful green fumé dial. It's stunning, right? It's a stunning watch. But it has a non-tapered bracelet, right? And also no micro adjust. But yeah, so the thing is, in this case, his wrist is a tiny bit smaller than mine, so I couldn't wear it. It was a bit too tight for me. So I don't know if it's a watch that I could wear well or not. Mm-hmm. Also, no quick exchange bracelet. So that means, while you can unscrew a screw there and then change it to, let's say, a rubber strap or something, it's not a quick thing. You have to have your tools and all of the stuff. And especially here, summer could be something that I'm not really liking too much, or maybe I would. But it's a leap, right? It's a leap of faith that you have to do and wear for a while. Even if you go in the shop and try it, you have to size it to your wrist and then see
if it works.
If it works, yeah.
And even then, are they going to size it before you buy it?
I know, that's not easy.
It would have to be used, right? You have to go to Timepiece 360 and do this, because otherwise they're not going to let you.
Yeah.
All right, one more thought that is going to just freaking throw a wrench into the beautifully running V12 engine that is my Venn diagram.
That's a V.
Time. Yeah. Time. And this is another issue. Look at the sub that I had for the better part of a decade. I owned that watch and I loved it. Mm-hmm. I just loved my no date sub. And then one day I woke up and I didn't love it anymore. So everything that fits into your Venn diagram is essentially like a ticking time bomb that at some point is just going to explode, and you're like, shit, I don't like it anymore. And that doesn't make, because everything on that watch was perfect. If you look at the price, I bought it for like $26K brand new at the AD. Insanely good deal. If you look at the features, everything is perfect. It is an absolutely beautiful watch. 20 millimeter lugs, the size, the lug width, everything is perfect. Okay, we could argue that I didn't like the Cerachrome bezel and the fat lugs, but that was only later on that I gained that knowledge and that, liking to slim lugs and the, nice, what's it called, tapering into a bracelet. And also later in my life, as I matured, I realized I don't like blinging. I don't like any bling bling. So, once again, this stuff that was perfect at the time turned into something that was not perfect. So the criteria changes with time. And that's also something. So Nate Casey has given us an impossible task.
Yes, it is an impossible task, and he knows it. It was
I think
sending
he
us down the rabbit hole.
He knew it was
Let me finish with a quotation that just came to my mind, and I have to transliterate it into English, of one of our first German chancellors after the Second World War, which is Konrad Adenauer. He said once, "Was kümmert mich mein Geschwätz von gestern? Nichts hindert mich daran, klüger zu werden." And that's in English, it means, why should I care about my chatter from yesterday? Nothing prevents me from becoming wiser. So, with that having said, like with all of your Venn diagrams and all of your things that you deemed like the holy grail of this is what I like, tomorrow you might wake up and think, as you said with your sub, not in love with it anymore. And even though it's bang in the middle of your Venn diagram and it scores highest on all fronts, you just feel like, I want something different. I want something new.
So is it the appropriate time for me to tell you that's a translation, not a transliteration?
What is a transliteration then? When
transliteration is when you take a word in a language and you make a new word for it. So, for instance, a translation of the word in Arabic, Allah, would mean God in English.
Yes.
But using the word Allah in a sentence would be a transliteration.
Okay, so what I meant is it is not a word-for-word translation.
So for instance, going back into our German history here, we see a lot of things where you go to Germany and they're like the Third Reich tour, right? Tour is an English word, but third is an English word, but they still use the word Reich.
Yes.
Which would be a transliteration. You're using the German word as an English word, essentially. Does that make sense?
Yes, but...
Because they don't say Third Reich in German.
No,
Reich
drittes Reich wird, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So third would be English. So they've transliterated it.
So transliteration is when it's how it's written rather than how it is pronounced in the target language. That's what it says here in my II. It says transliteration is the process of converting text from one writing system into another based on how it is written, not how it is pronounced in the target language. So it has nothing to do with the meaning at all. So I have not transliterated. I have translated freely in order to get the spirit of the word. Then what is the one where you...
Because there's also another form of translation where you want to uphold not just the meaning, but how they said it, which I don't also know. I don't know what that is, but... Who knows?
Onomatopoetic.
Right?
Onomatopoetic.
Like
I like
poetic. Exactly. Poems. You want to translate a poem while maintaining its poetic justice, so to speak.
Yes,
right?
but that's what I thought I would use with transliteration, but it's not, because I thought I would just take the essence of what it wants to say and the beauty of it, while in a word-for-word translation, it would neither make sense nor sound good, right? So,
and once again, this is a watch podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But onomatopoetic is just like this, when a word expresses a feeling as well, right? For example, if it's like a chilling cold, no, it's not like wow wow or woof woof from a dog. That is
woof woof, exactly.
Onomatopoetic.
It's onomatopoeia.
It's
right?
yeah. And that's one of the things that can be certain things like the chilling cold, but that's not really proper. In German, we have, for example, die klirrende Kälte, and that is really, in German it sounds cold, right? And that's Anyhow, there's certain things where you can just it just works in one language and not in the other. So it's just.
But anyway, what you have said is I don't know who said this or where I got this from. I think I've said it before, but it's the saying that you should have. I'm gonna see who said it before I say it.
Yeah, but my quote was meant to say, whatever I said yesterday, what do I care if it's still true today? Nothing prevents me from getting wiser and maybe learning something, right? So that my point is, sometimes you learn something new about yourself, about anything else, and then everything you have said before becomes basically, you change your mind. I mean, it sounds as simple as that, and that is what people do. Sometimes they change their mind.
So same quote, there's a similar quote from some tech guy back in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
And he said, strong convictions loosely held. So you should know what you're talking about, but if somebody changes your mind, you should also be open to that,
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's the exact same idea, right? If somebody comes tomorrow and tells me that my tutor Pelagos is absolute garbage because of XYZ, even though I don't think it right now, I should be open to what they have to say and then make my own decision based upon the new information.
Maybe you learn something new. Maybe it's just like when you ask what makes you think this, right? Sometimes people have very valid arguments and that might,
change your mind.
And sometimes you learn that they are just full of shit.
And this is very, this is I've told my daughter this like 100 times, this quote, right? And I keep telling her, like, it's okay to believe what you believe, but if somebody proves you wrong, you have to be open to that as well, right? You cannot simply continue believing what you believe if you have new information proving that what you believed is incorrect.
Yeah.
So in that way,
it's a typical black swan, right? I mean, there are no black swans until the first person found one.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, and then, I never heard that one, but yes.
It was a fact.
But in that case, there's no flying pigs until you see one.
Exactly.
Right? I think on that bombshell, I think it is.
Before we go into the animal kingdom.
Yes. So thank you to Nate for
Casey.
submitting a excellent question for us. And anyone else who cares to do this, click on the Speakpipe link and tell us something. And if it's good enough, we're happy to make an entire episode based about it. If it's, something you want to say, we could play it and, chat about it. It doesn't have to be a full episode's idea, but talk to us, right? This is a two-way street, but, or how do they say it? The phone works both ways, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So reach out to us.
Yes, please do. And I will now sit back with a piece of paper and a pen and just to go into my watch box and draw some circles.
And in the next episode, you'll hear about Ralph's circles.
Yeah, either you're the mad scientist trying to get like why it's an infinite loop or whatever, or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's who you are.
No.
You're going to look like just an idiot with some drawing paper and some circles. So... all right. Anyway, we will see you next week.
See you then. Bye-bye.